What's poppin', guys? Card champion here. And I'm having some problems, okay? I got a bad hair day. But this was not a bad week for Pokemon battles. Holy crap. What a hype week 5. 4. What a hype week 4, guys. This is going to be a week 4 recap. Joining me, we'll have the coach of the Lake Serperiors later on in the video. But next, we're going to be going into the drops. And then after, we're going to do the week recap. So if you want to skip to a particular section, then go ahead and click the timestamps below. I'll actually put them in this time. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Enjoy the video. And hopefully have a better hair day than me. Peace. So our first drop here is from the Cortando Corphish. And they're going to be dropping the lady with the big hammer, Tinkaton. Which is their Terra Captain, by the way. So they're getting a new Terra Captain in Shiftry. Shiftry, the recently buffed Wind Rider Pokemon. It's pretty solid, so I think it's a good offensive pick for this team. So we'll be excited to see how the Cortando Corphish utilizes its new Terra Captain. On to the next one. And next up, we have the Vaultin Veluzas dropping Titan. Such a big Pokemon, but small, tiny sprites was extremely grainy, so I apologize about that. But the Vaultin Veluzas are picking up Ditto. Very small Pokemon with a very large sprite. And no grain. I like it. It's going to be very scary Pokemon to deal with. Anti-setup easy. Because then you get reverse swept with your own Pokemon. So Ditto's going to be a pretty fun pick. And I do want to call out that the Vaultin Veluzas have now picked up 2 Pokemon with 2 dots as eyeballs. The other being Quagsire. I think it's funny. Alright, next pick. Alright, big moves from the Charizard Champions here, making their final free agent picks here. And so the Charizard Champions decide to drop 2 Pokemon, Bronzong and Levincia, in order to pick up the Low Kicks. Low Kicks Tinted Lens. First impression is very scary, and this is another example of change that we discussed last week. Team lacked very strong priority, and now he has a very strong priority. One of the best priority users currently, because Glisspod's not in the game. Glisspod's always number 1. But yeah, Low Kicks, pretty solid. Tinted Lens, just this thing is gonna go insane this week. I would assume. I haven't seen the battle yet. Or have I? Anyways, yeah. We're just gonna go to the next one. Okay, so the Orlando Orricorios held a very brief press conference, which leads us to make a lot of assumptions. Okay, so the Orlando Orricorios decide to drop the 2 4-legged freaks, Umbreon and Gogoat, in order to pick up this beauty, Gardevoir. So, yes, that's a long story short. We can assume that these two just were not cutting it. They were not getting kills. They weren't doing what they're supposed to, so they got fired. So instead, we got this beauty here, Gardevoir. All right, gonna pierce the opponent's hearts like the one in her chest. So hopefully, Gardevoir can do some great things for the Orlando Orricorios. So yeah, I believe that is it for drops this week, guys. Not too many. People are running out. Terra changes are kind of running out as well. There's still some teams who can make these drops and trades. So maybe next week, which is the last week, by the way, for drops and trades, maybe we'll see a large abundance of last-minute changes to the teams. Maybe not. But yeah, so there's going to be a separate video, aside from like a week review, going over everybody's final team. So look forward to that in a couple weeks. That'll be like week 6. So yeah, guys, we're going to jump on to the section where the Lake Serperiors coach is going to go over the week breakdown in terms of battles with me. So I'm just going to roll right into it. All right, so we're doing a week recap here, and on call with us we have the coach of the Lake Serperiors. Go ahead and say hi.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. So he's a brother from another mother, basically.
Not really, though.
Oh yeah. Nobody's gonna get that joke other than us. But yes, we are joined here by the coach of the Lake Serperiors, the current #1, undefeated in the league here. So it's nice to get him on call with us. And we are going to be going over the week recap. Basically, we're just going to be running down matchup to matchup, talking briefly about the match, whether it was important, that whoever won, just all the details, just to be fun here. So we're going to start off with our matchup here, Keenan.
Yay.
If I can find the mouse. There we are. There we go. Got some nice visuals on the screen this time. So, obviously the Levincia Lightning Rods took on the Lake Serperiors, and it ended in a 5-0. It was a pretty tough match on my end, but let's talk about that Torterra of yours.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, just talk about, just your prep, because typically Shell Smash is very expected, but you ran something else.
Right. So before we even started this league, we talked about Shell Smashing Torterra, and then someone came up with this Iron Defense one too. I was like, okay, I'll maybe put that in the back burner. And I decided, like, week 1 of the league, that when I go against you, I'm just going to bring a bulky team.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously that meant big bulky Torterra.
Yep.
The only issue I had with your guys was Skeledirge.
Mm-hmm.
Skeledirge, and you have a lot of fast guys that can hit hard.
Yes, like the Sneasler.
Right. So he was the real problem with my team.
Mm-hmm.
With that unaware.
Oh, yes, with the Skeledirge.
So I brought Torterra and Slowbro, which unfortunately he didn't get his chance to shine. But
50% chance, the coin
yeah,
flip.
those two alone were the ones that were gonna
Destroy me.
take out your team.
Yeah.
But in order to get them to do that, Skeledirge had to go. So
Yes.
everyone else on my team was there to get rid of that guy. That's it.
Man,
So,
poor Skeledirge. He had a
I-
bunch of lasers on the back of its head. So, but yeah, so you ran Iron Defense, Body Press, Leech Seed, and Amnesia. Now, I will say the fact that this Pokemon gets Amnesia and boosts special defense by 2 is insane. Absolutely insane.
yeah.
I think next league we do, Torterra's going to like 13 or 14 points.
Probably.
Not 9.
Yeah.
This Pokemon's been insane. You've been really coaching and piloting this Pokemon, as well as everybody else on your team, very well. So,
But the reason I wasn't like one-shotting most of your guys with the body press is because I split the defenses.
yeah,
I gave him more special defense than I did defense.
Yeah.
And he had 0 in attack.
mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah.
why he didn't do as much, which actually kind of helped him in the
Yeah.
The
At my
You
end,
had all your special attackers left. At
Yeah.
the end.
I was kind of just like, just hurry up and end me slowly, or end me fast.
Well, the real crazy thing, giving your luck, is that you didn't get a burn with like 7 flamethrowers.
Yeah, I did count. It was 7.
It was 7.
It was exactly 7. I'm like, gosh dang it, man. I know it's a 10% chance, but man, that could have changed things up. So there was a little bit of potential to not be a complete wash.
Yeah,
But yeah.
but it.
Yep, and I will say the Screens Jirachi was fun. I was expecting like an Iron Head set. I even did the prep to bring neutralizing gas on Wheezing to stop myself from getting a flinch and being able to burn it with the Will-O-Wisp.
Right.
But
Yeah.
just didn't work out. So,
Yeah, I really only brought him to help out Slowbro.
mhm.
Since that didn't work, I wasn't going to use him for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Unless I had to.
hmm Yeah, so it is nice to have you on call and just to kind of hear your side of things here because, you're not one of the recorders for the league. So it's nice to get a little bit of insight and just to hear, like, your voice here. I'm sure a lot of people would be like, man, this Lake Serperiors guy is just completely spanking everybody. You know what I mean? Like, but we haven't heard a single word from him. So it's everybody's opportunity to get in the brain of the Lake Serperiors. a little
Well,
bit. Just
only a few of you have actually played with me in leagues before, and
Yep.
it obviously didn't end up like this in
mhm.
history. Past games,
Yeah,
I've
this is
usually been in like the middle or
yeah,
the bottom most of the time.
yeah.
This is a nice change of pace.
It is. You know, and everybody that I've talked to is like, man, what happened to Keenan? Holy crap, he just completely like evolved into a freaking Mega Serperior or something. Like, she went crazy. So, no, it's good for you. I'm glad to see you being very successful, and hopefully you can carry on the rest of the season. So,
Plan.
yep. So yeah, I think that's enough said with our battle here. And so, any other comments before we go on to the next one?
I mean, I will say I was scared for pretty much the whole game until I was able to set up Torterra for real.
Yeah.
But there was so much switching. That's the most I've had to switch
Yeah.
since it started. So
It was
pretty scary.
honestly, it was the longest game of the entire league so far.
Yeah.
Like 35 minutes of battling on our end is, I believe, what the clip ended up being. So I think the next closest was like 20 some minutes. So it's definitely a long battle between us, you know. So it's a lot of mental grit and and all that involved. So yep. All right. So we're gonna go on to the next match here. All right. So next matchup, we had the Pod Squad versus the Vaultin Veluzas. starting to sound like pronouncing the Honeybuns name. I always butcher that one. So one thing I did want to note here was I don't have it anymore. I was gonna say like the importance of each of them winning, because if the Pod Squad won, they would have a tied record. But the fact that the Vaultin Veluzas won, it put them in top 8 with that win. Yes. So the differential was lower than the Honeybuns, so put them in the top 8, which makes playoffs, and that's a big deal. So, so this match was this was a close one. All the battles were close, minus our battle. But this one was pretty good. Pod Squad displaying good plays. Same with the Vaultin Veluzas. I will say it was really nice that Garchomp was able to set up spikes and South Rock and get as many Dragon Tails off, because that was clutch. Yeah. Definitely being able to just constantly get chip, because that Landorus ended up below half, and that was literally just between Rocky Helmet, Rough Skin, and like the 2 or 3 times it came in on rocks.
Right.
You know, so like all that chip damage is just proves how valuable that rocks, spikes, and even a Rocky Helmet is. Yeah, I think there was a lot of good switches, a lot of good good plays there. The Quagsire with counter, super fun.
Yeah, I was just about to talk about that one.
Go ahead.
Was pretty great. Wouldn't expect that it didn't kill with Facade, and then just so happened to have counter.
Yeah.
It was very unexpected.
I will say, if the Ursaluna didn't go for a bulk up turn 1, it would have killed it with that Facade, because it lived on just a sliver. So if it would have attacked, it would have taken like a third or half,
Right.
And then the next attack would have killed.
Correct.
So, I mean, you can't predict this stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
It's hard to predict. So it's like the bulk up was initially a good play, but that's good prep on the Veluzas side. And they just got lucky too that they didn't attack and set up. So, but yeah, there was one play in here that was kind of, I would almost even go as far as saying it cost the match, because there was a turn where Garchomp was intimidated by Landorus coming in, and the following turn, the Pod Squad switched into Armor Rouge. And hearing his thought process, he was thinking, oh, he's going to go for U-turn. Right. And so to get that weak armor prompted was the idea. That way it outspeeds and just it can hit a lot of the Vaultin Veluzas team pretty well with his coverage moves. Well, in the whole hindsight of things, Landorus T already has came in multiple times on Stealth Rock. It got below half. And so Earthquake is a contactless move. It's the freest move to click. You know,
right,
it's not
at that time. Garchomp was also really low in health.
Yeah, he was basically dead.
So yeah, he would have KO'd Garchomp, and if he switched anyone else in, it still would have done a good amount of damage to anyone else coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like the safest move to use.
Yeah.
You didn't need to U-turn.
Yeah. You know, because you want to use U-turn.
Skin.
Yeah, exactly. You want to use the U-turn to get momentum. You know, if you kill a Pokemon with U-turn, you're not getting any momentum. The other player's getting momentum.
Right.
So, yep, that's just something to consider there for the pod squad. I know it was pretty situational, and a lot of times, like, it's hard to, like, see the bigger picture when you're in the heat of a battle. You know, there's, you know, just a lot at stake, and, you know, unexpected things happen. You know, it's easy to not get in the right mindset of things.
Right.
But
you get your adrenaline going.
Exactly.
Just one side, your tunnel vision. That's
yeah.
what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, but yeah, I did think both players played really well. I like that Slitherwing is starting to get some kills. I like how the pod squad's using Slitherwing. I personally love the Flame Charge set because then you just outspeed. Because it has mediocre speed, but that +1 speed just really puts it above the rest and just hits like a freaking truck.
Yeah, there was good predictions on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Slitherwing, when he had him out and he thought, I don't know, maybe he might switch out, and he decided to go for Flame Charge instead of whatever move he was thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then he switched in Corviknight and he got the kill against Corviknight and the +1 speed.
Yes.
That was a good play on him.
One of the funnier parts of the matches was when it was the pod squad clicked their move. He's like, oh, we haven't seen Zoroark yet. Hits it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is Zoroark.
Immediately. As soon as I saw that Dark Pulse, I was like,
yeah, I'm like, I don't think Gutra gets Dark Pulse.
And he's faster. Like, that's not right.
Yeah, that was the first indicator. I thought that was a little funny. So, but yeah, good match on both ends. I personally like seeing Zoroark coming. I think the Gudra's been really well played lately. That thing is just a tank. I verse the Vaultin Veluzas next week. I'm afraid of that Gudra.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
that thing's hard to kill.
When we were watching it, Bella was telling me, he's like, wait a minute, did you just battle that guy? I was like, oh, no. It's just he had 3 of, like, basically the same Pokemon you have, but all the different versions.
Yep.
He had Hisuian, or Galarian, Weezing.
Yep. And Cantonian Weezing.
Yeah, and then the regular Zoroark.
Yep. And
I was like, yeah, no, it's a different person.
And then I even had the Hisuian Sliggoo, too.
Right, yeah.
So, maybe we're brothers.
I guess so.
All right. Yep, I think that's about it for this match. So we're going to go into the next matchup. All right, so the next matchup, we have the Orlando Orricorios and the Ann Arbor Alakazams. Both teams eager for victory, both coming from a loss last week. And so, both players coming in hot here, trying to get that win. And so, I will say, I did, I don't know how to explain this. I wanted to help the Orricorios a little bit with just a couple, like, building some, like, move sets, or, like, recommending some move sets and stuff. And so, after our little session, because I told them, all right, I already kind of heard stuff from the Alakazams about what they're bringing against you this week. So I'm like, okay, just to be fair, we're going to help just with the following week, okay? So nothing was done specifically for the Alakazams because it's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That way I'm not trying to counter what he's bringing and vice versa. So at the very end of our session, I'm like, I had this realization looking through Fortress's moveset. What is this? He gets Endure and Reversal. He already has Terra Fighting. So we started running some calcs with attack investment. This thing one-shots so many Pokemon, just naturally, with Reversal and Terra Fighting at 1 HP with Sturdy.
Yep.
And so I didn't think he was going to bring it this week, but he did. I'm like, holy crap. You know, and the Custat Berry allows him to get that Reversal off immediately. So I thought that was super clutch to take care of the Como-O, because I think that Como was about to steamroll that team. It had +2 and everything.
Yeah, it was. Did he set it up twice?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. No, he was done if he didn't get rid of it.
Yeah. So I thought that was a perfect counter. Trying to think here. I know you mentioned, like, oh, why is there Hurricane on Dragonite? That was specifically to counter the Great Tusk, because Great Tusk has lower special defense.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty sure that's why it was used. I really liked Dragonair on the Alakazams team. I liked that it set up Dragon Dance and Terra Normal Extreme Speed. I thought that was super clutch. And
was this the first time you brought Dragonair?
It was, and it got a kill and didn't faint.
Yeah, debut.
Yes.
Good job.
Yeah. And I will say, there's no like solid sweepers this match here. Just looking at the KOs for both teams, the highest kills for a single Pokemon on both teams is 2.
Yeah.
So all the kills are spread across their team members pretty easily, or pretty like evenly. Like Slowbro, Dragonite, Suvi, and Samurott, Fortress all got 1. Conkeldurr, Como-O, Dragonair, Clawitzer got 1. Great Tusk got 2. So the only one that has not got a kill is Hippowdon, which I'm looking at the
Hippowdon did help out a lot with the yawn at the end.
It did. I think it was asleep for 2-3 turns.
At least 2.
Yeah. Hippowdon has no kills.
Came in, set up, and attack.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought this was a good display of skill level for both teams. Yeah, I mean, other than just it being a close match, just a nice watch. I just thought it was an enjoyable fight. I don't really have too much to say about this battle in particular.
It wasn't really. It kept going like one side and then switching to the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It never stayed in like one person's favor.
Yeah.
Which was nice to see.
Yeah.
They both had counters to each other's Pokemon. So.
Yeah. It was nice seeing a good performance out of Devin, given the skill level of the Ann Arbor Alakazams. So the fact that brought it down to 2-0, I think even though he lost it, that's still something to be proud of.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's. Any other comments about this match?
Let's see. I'm trying to think.
I think the Fortress was the biggest one that I wanted to talk about.
Was really nice. It was a welcome surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, good guy. Really.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's nice to see they can be used in other ways.
Mm-hmm. This was a pure offensive Fortress, and it paid off. So, all right. Well, I think we're going to go right on to the next one. All right, so next matchup, we have the Huntingdon Houndooms and the Heart Homeless Honeybuns. I did not butcher that one on the first try. Yay. So this was another close match. All the battles this week are super close, which is pretty hype. So yeah, I did see some growth out of the Huntingdon Houndooms. The Mamoswine was got a kill. The Bombardier, I actually sent him over the Bombardier, his favorite. He did tell me that was his favorite on his team.
I liked him too.
So I sent him a set over. I'm like, with a Home Claws Stone Edge set, and I told him I couldn't remember the last move. So it looks like he just threw in Acrobatics.
Yeah, I think that's what I usually put on too.
Yeah, and so it was nice to see the Stone Edge get the one-hit knockout with the crit, because Stone Edge has a high crit rate.
Yeah, I don't think the other guy realized that it was basically stabbed for him as well.
Yeah, so that's why it was so powerful. Yeah, so it was nice to see Bombirdier get a satisfying one-hit knockout on a Pokemon. And I'm sure that made the Houndooms really happy to see that as well. The Espathra could have gotten a little out of control. I think if Protect was ran on it.
Right, that's what I was thinking too.
It could have outsped the Meowscarada and killed it, potentially.
Yeah, because he only had the one speed boost, and then that was it.
Yeah, and I think +2 would have
With
outsped.
Protect, yeah, if you with Protect, you at least get the +2, and then you could Calm Mind, and then he's got his amazing, what move was it? Stored Power.
Yes, Stored
after
Power.
that.
Yeah. So the coverage was nice with Lumer Crash, but I almost would have gotten rid of Lumer Crash and put Protect.
Right.
But, so yeah, I do think it was a good match. The Toxic Spikes proved to be very valuable from Toxapex with the Choice Scarf Gengar and Hex. That was another combination I sent over to him, like, hey, you should consider this. Like, Gengar's, like, really good, you know,
Yeah,
and this is
Gengar has
Gengar's
been
first.
good.
Yeah.
Since the game came out.
Exactly.
Gengar's always been in the
top OU status type of thing.
Yeah, 'cause he's super fast and super strong. He's just a glass cannon.
Yeah, and it was very unfortunate that the Meowscarada was able to live, because I think it would have cleaned up the rest of the Honeybuns team.
It did outspeed everyone else.
Yeah, and a Scarf Hex, nothing would outsped it, and the Hex would have just been 120 base, 130, 140. I don't know what base power it is.
Don't know, but very strong stab.
Yep. But yeah, Meowscarada seems to be the MVP of the team, leader of the league in kills, getting another 3 this match.
It would have been a nice move for you to use against someone.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Ting Lu making his debut appearance. Same with the Rotom Heat, both getting kills.
Yeah.
For the Honeybuns.
Just Ting Lu being bulky as hell.
Yes, that's what it's made for. Is to take hits and take half your health with a Ruination. So that's definitely a good tool for a wall to have. But yeah, I think it was definitely a good match, and probably the Houndoom's best battle yet. And still rooting for the
come back at the end. So
yes, so I'm still rooting for the Houndooms to get a win. I think let's look at next week. They battle the Ball Rollers, so that should be a good one as well. So yeah, trying to think here. The Honeybuns, with that win, it puts them at 2-2. Let's look at the rankings here, and that puts them at technically a tie for 8th place, but the differential is what separates them. So, and that's where the 6-0 from Adam really negatively affected the team. Even if, you know, they were 3-0'd, it would have been just that much closer in differential. You know, because that differential is going to prove to be key here towards the end of the season here, come playoffs. So it's going to be a tight one for playoffs. I really do. It's going to be really tight to get in.
Yeah, a lot of people are either tied or really close to it.
Yeah, must be nice to be 7 points ahead of everybody. Differential.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think that's about it for this one. So next up, we're going to go to the next one. All right, next matchup, we have the Cortando Corphish and the Ball Rollers. This one was an interesting one because right off the bat, we had screens from the Ball Rollers, and then come to find out the Klefki brought screens as well. So another match of screens, and definitely a rise in popularity of screens in the league. And I think they're pretty useful. What do you think?
I agree. It was nice to see someone actually plan to go against screens.
Yes.
With the Brick Break.
Yes, on Roaring Moon. I thought that was brilliant.
I was actually thinking that myself.
Like, wow, kudos to you, ball rollers,
But-
for that.
Nice, someone else had the same idea.
You know, and honestly, let me look here at Klefki.
Also, I didn't know Roost got rid of them. Or not Roost, Defog.
Yeah, it did.
I didn't know it got rid of the train as well. Oh.
Oh yeah, no, I knew.
I didn't-
Yeah, I didn't know it got rid of train, but I knew it got rid of screens
Yeah.
because I was telling Adam that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can assume that if you see Klefki, because it's been brought 3 or 4 weeks now, and every single time it came, it brought it brought screens. So
Right.
yeah, and it has not gotten any kills. It's just it does its job and just dies, you know. And it proves useful because that Gudra under screens is insane. We
Yeah.
saw the difficulty for the Alakazams to take it down. Man, why is that thing so bulky? Oh wait, there's
Yeah.
Reflect Up, and the thing
Yeah, well,
has
he's-
carried
He's
Assault Vest.
naturally bulky by himself.
Yes,
And then you add screens to the mix, and then
yeah,
there's really nothing you can do except for wait or break the screens somehow.
yeah. So I really think the Corphish is using the screens very wisely and very well with their team. The Gudra being a perfect example of a Pokemon being used correctly with screens, because that thing is just unkillable.
Yeah.
The crits, holy crits, man. Two
Yeah, there's
extremely
been-
crucial crits.
There's been a lot this season, and a lot of them seem to have mattered. Specifically in this match, the Air Slash against Tinkaton.
Yep. Yeah, and
Apparently that mattered.
I talked to the Corphish coach, and he was like, yeah, maximum it did 58. And so yeah. Then the
That was a hard blow.
yeah, it was. And then the crit on the flip side, so the Cortando Corphish got a crit on the Azumarill. It would have been curious to see what set that the Azu was running, whether it was Belly Drum or not, but we didn't get to see because Gudra, of all Pokemon, crit and just one-shot the thing.
Well, I guess that makes it even then.
Yep, so it evened out, and besides our match, this was the biggest close match at 3-0 for the week here. I will say I really like the Water Terra on Kilowattrel with the Volt Absorb, leaving it only 1 weakness.
That's a really good move.
Yes, I didn't really think about it. I saw the change because I think that was this past week he changed that. So it was a recent change, and I just typed in the information. I didn't think about it. I just updated the sheet, and then that's it. But then seeing it in battle, I'm like, that's nice. That's a nice pick. So, but yeah, so good prep here on the ball roller side. I do personally really like the fact that Rillaboom is coming to more matches now, and because Rillaboom's just a really dominant Pokemon. It's a really good Pokemon.
Yeah. That Grassy Glide is forced to be reckoned with
It is.
in Rillaboom's hands.
Mm-hmm. So it just beats that drum, throws grass in their face with priority, and says, you know, you're dead. Claim 3 kills this match.
Yeah.
Putting it, I believe, at 5 kills for the season. Yep. Him with his battle with Iron Hands getting 1 kill and Rillaboom getting 3, now secured 2 spots within the top 15, which basically from 5th place down to 15th place is a tie at 5 kills.
Nice.
So a lot of Pokemon are getting 5 kills after this 4th week. But so yeah, good performance from the Cortando Corphish. Some RNG happened, but it ended up being evened out. And yeah, it's just a nice Rillaboom cleanup there at the end.
Yeah, they both lost their hard-hitting fairy types to crits.
Ooh, that's a good observation. I guess I won't bring fairy types to my match next week because it's going to get crit.
Yep. Get rid of all my fairies.
Yep, drop them. We got a drop here. Well, shoot, this video is going to include the drops once I edit it all together. But yeah, This is pre-drop recording. All right, enough little silly talk here. We're just going to go right into the next matchup. So next matchup, we have the Charizard Champions versus the Lakeside Ledybas, and this was another personal match here. So, been friends for quite a while here, and it ended in a 2-0 victory for the Lakeside Ledybas. And let's just put this on the table. Let's talk about the black sheep of the room, Spidops.
Spidops.
And considered bad Pokemon, but piloted by the right coach, the Ledybas pulled this one off very successfully. Got 3 kills. Let's talk about it. Explain how it killed for those who don't know.
You got first impression. It's such a nice addition to the game for all these bug types.
Yes.
Being priority and how strong it is.
Yeah, for a +2 priority move.
Yeah.
At that.
And just the way the K used him was really, really well done with the U-turn and the first impression, and it scared the Charizard Champions a lot. So he was making a lot of switches trying to avoid this guy.
Well, that ended up not working out in Adam's favor because he gets stakeout. So it doubles the damage. That's why Bisharp took 3/4 of his health to a freaking first impression.
Yep.
So that thing's a monster, you know. 30 base speed, I believe. So it needs the priority, but it also has the web's potential as well. But it was really piloted really well here by the Ledybas. It was fun seeing Probopass. I think it was a one-hit knockout from full. I don't remember, but I just remember Probopass just annihilating whatever Pokemon it got the kill on. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Was it right at the beginning? No,
it was mid-match.
Mid.
I can't. Was it? I don't know who it was. Either way, it got a pretty satisfying kill. And there was a Thundurus v Thundurus matchup here. Yep, Thundurus Incarnate and then Thundurus Therian. Neither of them getting a kill, just dying. Which, speaking of Adam's Thundurus, I thought that was really cool with the Blunder Policy, I believe it's called. So he missed a Focus Blast, got +1 speed with the Nasty Plot.
The first time I've seen it, actually, seen someone actually use it.
Yeah. And it proved to be pretty useful. That thing was a little scary, but the Ledybas were able to handle it pretty well. And for me personally, I think I really got excited seeing Hisuian Decidueye. I just really want to see this thing do some work, and it ended up getting a kill. It's triple arrows and just scrappy ability is just really nice. So it hits those ghost types. So it scared the Goldango even from coming to this match because it would have been super effective.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, going back to Probopass, it was the Therian form.
Oh, the Thundurus?
It took a dive. Yeah, it took a dive from Power Gem.
Yeah. So, the Grafaiai picking off 2 Pokemon this match. I think it was Choice Scarf Grafaiai. I remember Adam saying, because it outsped the Choice Scarf Espeon.
Yep, and it outsped due to Flip Coin because they had the same speed.
Yep, it was a speed tie.
So it's unfortunate for
Adam.
Charizard Champions.
Yeah.
And then what else? Oh, and then the Screamtail coming in for clutch.
Yeah, that thing just freaking walled. It was pretty nice. I'm honestly kind of shocked here because, like, I know Iron Shreds isn't as strong as Great Tusk, but it's still a really solid Pokemon. But it has yet to see a kill from the Lakeside Ledybas. So I'm hoping that the Iron Treads can be more useful than just a spinner. Because that thing is just, it's still a monster. You know what I mean? Given the right situation. Maybe it just hasn't been the right situation.
Yeah, it's not the right situation.
Yeah. But that is another Pokemon I'm excited to see get some more kills. Spidops is just really nice. Because that's how I use Spidops, is to pick things off. So it was really nice to see somebody else playing with the playstyle that I would have.
It was nice seeing a lower tier Pokemon being a threat.
Exactly. And it took out half the team.
Showing people that any Pokemon can be a threat.
Yep. Especially in draft.
As long as it's used in the right way.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this was a good match.
A long match too.
It was a long match.
A lot of switches, a lot of healing.
Mm-hmm. You know, there was quite a few David moments that I noticed this week, especially with like Adam, and then what I talked about with Razor with the Zoroark. So right at team preview, right before, Adam's like, I really hope K brings rain. And then it shows the preview, there's no rain.
Yeah, there's.
I thought that was funny right from the get-go. Like, oh, that's funny. Yeah, let's talk about Adam's Corphish, because it was running, I think, double dance? Yeah, it was running agility and swords dance, I believe.
Oh. And it was Swift Swim, right?
Yeah, it was supposed to be Swift Swim, so he brought the agility in case, probably in case he couldn't get rain. Yeah. So I thought that was a pretty unique and cool set.
Yeah.
I did get a kill, but it was just nice uniqueness to the battle, you know, because normally you would think that's just a wall, but no, it's going to set up and try to sweep you.
While still being kind of a wall.
Exactly, without a Violet.
Yes.
So, anything else for this match?
Other than it was really good.
Yeah,
that's all I
good
got.
match. It was definitely a fun match to watch. So yeah, we're gonna dive right into the next one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and last up for the week, we had these craziest. I don't know if this is the craziest. It was a very torturous battle here between the Storm Watchers and the DC United Tyranitars. And yeah, so basically toxic. It was a very toxic match. Clodsire was brought and used very, very effectively. Keenan, do you want to share some thoughts here?
He just didn't have anything that could take it.
Yeah.
Especially with the fact that he had Water Absorb, and his one guy that could have taken it out couldn't use his strongest attack.
Yeah.
Because it was water.
Exactly. Even the Draco Meteor couldn't finish it off.
It did nothing, because he's a very specially defensive boy.
It is. You know, so I think the Clodsire was honestly used very perfectly. It was hard to watch, but it was a win condition. And
yeah, and it had the chance to heal itself with Recover.
Exactly.
So it had the Protect, the Recover, the Toxic, and then switched out at the correct times.
Mm-hmm.
He used Toxic at the correct times.
Yeah. Yeah, I did see that too.
Putting Poisoning forced his whole team at one point.
So, I did think it was a perfect display and use of Clodsire, and it proved to be very effective. No poison types on the Tyranitars team. And yeah, it really messed him up.
Yeah.
And the Protect helped against slacking, I believe.
It did.
Helped stack up poison.
It helped a lot. Because I think that was the one Pokemon that could have taken it out.
Yeah.
Considering how much attack he has with the stab and one of the strongest moves in the game.
Yeah. I will say it was a really. I questioned Fake Out on Ludicolo, but it proved to be extremely useful.
It did.
It did.
I mean, I don't think he really needed it because he still had Girder with Mach Punch,
Yeah.
but on the other hand, it still worked out.
Yeah. I mean, it
And-
was able to get the kill on Tyranitar because of it,
Yeah.
with the priority.
I think what really got the kill on Tyranitar is that crit leech bullet seed that,
Oh, yeah.
that got him down to like 2 HP. Oh, there's been so many
Lots of crits. Lots of crits.
crits.
Yeah.
I felt bad for T-Tar at that moment.
Yeah. It's never fun going down to Toxic, but I believe the week before, versing, oh no, it was 2 weeks ago when they fought the Ledybas with the nasty Grafai.
Oh yeah.
Prankster substitute with Toxic. Prankster Toxic. And obviously the Protect. So that was a rough one to see, and you can see it in his reaction. But so I guess getting a little bit of the Toxic out on his opponents now. But I think Clodsire has definitely been used to its full potential, and a threat for everybody who's going to be fighting him, which you fight him next week. So watch out for Clodsire.
Yeah, I am.
So Girder was a really nice pickup for these Storm Watchers as well. And every time he,
Okay with that, Violite.
yeah, every time he brings it, it at least gets one kill.
Right.
You know, it's just a really
And if
solid
not,
Pokemon.
It knocks off an important item.
Mm-hmm. Has priority, bulky, gets defog.
So definitely one you can't go into without planning for it ahead of
Yep.
time.
I will say I have a history with Girder because I remember versing. It was the first league you and I did. It was with Matt. I don't want to say his last name because people are going to be watching the video. And I, went to the pool to battle him in person because this is when we were on the 3DS. And he had a Girder. I'm like, I was terrified of that thing. That thing started setting up multiple bulkos. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I needed this win to get into playoffs. And luckily I was able to. But that Girder was scary, with the Violite. So it's definitely a Pokemon you don't want to underestimate. But so on Forest's end, Zapdos has been a probably MVP for the team. This thing has the most kills on his entire team.
He uses Zapdos well, and he uses his Weavile pretty well as well.
Yeah, Weavile's next in kills, and it's only been brought twice. But Zapdos has been brought every single match, and it has some importance, at least. I really know he wants to get his Walking Wake going, and just start clobbering teams with it. So hopefully the Tyranitars can get the Walking Wake sweep that they're hoping
Hopefully,
for.
it's just hard because everybody plans for him, just because he's such a threat, so intimidating. So people basically just plan for him, and then it's hard to use him when their entire team is made to counter.
Yeah. Forest has a really strong team. A lot of hard-hitting Pokemon, but a lot of setup too that could just destroy a team. Cresselia. Everybody has PTSD from fighting Cresselia at some point in time. If you've been doing competitive for a long time, those calm mindsets are just ridiculous. Which we have yet to see. I think we've seen Moonlight. We've seen a Sunny Day set.
I don't think he has. He's just naturally bulky by himself.
Yeah.
He just uses them as a to put up screens. More for a switch in.
Yeah.
Safe switch in.
So, and I remember watching this match. I'm like, man, when is Forrest gonna bring the freaking D-Dance T-Tar? And sure shit, he brings it. I'm like, oh, unfortunately, it wasn't able to do too much work, but still got a kill. So, yeah, I think that's about it for this match here. That about wraps up the team breakdown section. And so next we'll probably give an update on the rankings, the kill list, and then go over the schedules, and that'll be it for the video. So yeah, we're gonna jump right into that then. All right, so here we have the top 15 KO leaders for the league here, and we're just gonna go down one by one. I'll say who the coach is because, or the team, because I have the coach listed, and then we're gonna kind of just do a brief talk over them. So number one, you can see we got Meowscarada, coach of the Honeybuns. I said that wrong. The Honeybuns is the coach for that team. And then I'll let you name the next two since you're the coach of those two Pokemon.
Well, the next two, we have Torterra with 7 and Mimikyu with 6, with the both being on the amazing Lake Superior team.
Yes, the undefeated. You have to make sure you rub that in too.
Sorry.
Something I say to Natalie, like every time she asks me to like help her carry something or help her with something, like, you're strong, muscular husband. Just throw that in. So you got to boast like that.
Yeah.
She's gonna kill me for having this in my video, but she's not gonna know. So next up we have Mew. So this is basically a long list of ties with 5 kills. They're gonna be organized later, but so we got Mew. I'm just gonna, screw it. Mew, coached by the Cortando Corphish. Sneasler, coached by me. Baxcalibur from Charizard Champions. Iron Jugulus by me. The Goldango, the Lakeside Ledybas. Zapdos by the Tyranitars. Iron Valiant Como Great Tusk by the Ann Arbor Alakazams. Iron Hands and Rillaboom from the Cortando Corphish, and then the Lando T from the Vaultin Veluzas. So a lot of 5 kills for a lot of these Pokemon. Some of them, most of them, end up being kind of the top KO leaders for each team. So yeah, let's talk about like consistency. So like we have, a couple coaches with multiple Pokemon, like Hadontoid here in the top, and Gamertag, the Cortando Corphish with 3, so they're spreading their kills out pretty evenly on their team. You as well. It doesn't show, but if you look at our spreadsheet, your kills are pretty spread out.
Right. I don't have a lot of people in the top 15, but I do have a lot with kills.
Yes.
Including ones that I've dropped.
Yeah, like Santa Con again, 3.
Right.
So I think this shows a lot of valuable information because it kind of tells a lot about the coach. And, like the viewers, like you guys, thank you for watching, by the way. You don't get to see the spreadsheet like we do and we get to plan for. But it's hard to plan for a Pokemon if, they're brought every week or every other week, and the whole team is kind of spread out with kills, so it's like it kind of is a struggle for the Honeybuns with Meowscarada because the Meowscarada is dominantly leading in kills with their team, so it's going to be relatively easy to prioritize getting rid of that Meowscarada, versus the Honeybuns. So I think that's just a point to call out, that this little bit of information shows kind of a lot about the coach, and that try to get diversity with kills. Bosk, Forest, he if we had a top 20, he'd have like 1 or 2 more Pokemon in there. So just because, Zapdos has 5 doesn't mean Weavile doesn't have 4. I recently just had to take Weavile off to put Lando in. So like a lot of coaches are just kind of evening out their kills.
Well, it makes it harder to plan for them when they have so many Pokemon that have kills.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you already mentioned it, when you have a team that comes in that has 1 Pokemon have all their kills, it's really easy to plan for that.
Yeah. You know, so this kind of falls into, you know, team prep as well. I mean, even if you guys watching aren't, you know, obviously you aren't in this draft. I mean, some, if you're in the league and watching, yes. But like, just, you know, you kind of learn people's play styles, and you kind of just see, you know, just based on kill counts. I might have been on a different train. I was thinking of something else. So sorry.
Yeah.
But one thing I wanted to note too was how these Pokemon got these kills. It's week 4 going into week 5, where each of these Pokemon getting maybe 1 kill a match, getting 2, and then nothing 1 match. I know for my Pokemon, my 2 in the top 10, those are all got, like, those were both in 1 match each. So Sneasler got all 5 of its kills in 1 match. Iron Jugulis, all 5 in 1 match.
Pretty much the same for me.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So, you know, it just goes to show, like, those Pokemon can be scary, you know, in snowball teams. So, like, just reading my information for my team, like, those Pokemons are threats, you know, and if not planned for, you know, I could have another 5 and be number 1, you know. So I think that's just a good display, because I think Mimikyu got 5 in 1 match.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it did.
Maybe
because
4. I think I got 4.
Okay. Yeah, because I know the Mew got 5 in 1 match, so I think it's just oh no, it's 4th place to 7th place all got 5 kills in 1 match. All the other 5s were spread out.
Yeah.
So that's just something to take into consideration, the setup potential. I mean, shoot, Baxcalibur set up and got all those kills.
Yeah.
Jugulis didn't really set up. Mew set up. I guess we can... No, Sneasler, actually, just picked things off here and there. So, it's like, each of them, if you rewatch the matches and see where they got those kills, it's really interesting just to kind of see. You know, Como got 4 in 1 and then 1 kill somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I like looking at these and just kind of going back on them. But yeah, that's the that's KO leaders. We'll do this again next week and see if there's a big shakeup in the top 15. And so next we're gonna go right to the standings.
Alrighty. So, how do you want me to start, David?
However you want. I'm trying to figure out how to do this right. I can't do it because I had to do everything back. Just go ahead and read it.
Okay, so we're just going to go in order from the top rank to the bottom rank and their record, their differential, and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So at the top, see this nice, handsome, strong,
muscular
team named the Serperiors with a 4-0 record and a differential of 17. Then we go down to the Cortando Corphish with a 3-1 and a differential of 10, so they're catching up. Then we got the Arbor Alakazams, 3-1 as well, with a differential of 9, pretty close to second. And then Lakeside Ledybas, 3-1 as well, at 7. Those shapers really like to stick together. Then Levincia Lightning Rods. I don't know who that is.
Some loser.
Yeah, they're 3-1, except for some reason they have differential of 4.
They must have taken a big loss.
They must have taken a big loss. Then we go down to the Storm Watchers with 3-1 as well, with a differential of 1. DC United Tyranitars 2-2 with a differential of 2. Vaultin Veluzas 2-2 with a differential of -1. And then the Heartless Honeybuns 2-2 -5. Charizard Champions 1-3 -4. The Ball Rollers 1-3 -5. Orlando Orricorios, 1-3, -9. Pod Squad, 0-4, -15. And the Huntingdon Houndooms, 0-4, -16. Hopefully, things will start changing a little bit. We'll start evening out these differentials.
Yeah. So, I will say the one big thing is a big loss really hits you with this differential. So like these 5-0s, these 6-0s, they take a huge toll on you. You know, because we'll start with the Honeybuns. They are 2-2, but they are -5. And that 6-0 defeat from the Charizard Champions hurt them very badly. You know, because like even if it was like a 2-0, like, you know, they would be, I don't know math, they would be pretty close to the Vaultin Veluzas. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Because all these team matchups, they've all been really close. Most of the matchups are 2-0, maybe 3-0 at the max, and then every once in a while you'll get someone that gets a 5-0 for example, against a really bulky Torterra.
Yeah.
And it's hard to make those points up.
Yeah. You know.
Especially when you go against all these teams that are very evenly matched with you.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you go against the one team that you can't do anything about.
Yeah, you know, because I had a differential of 9. You know, our match is super important, you know, because we were the only undefeated teams in the league currently before this week. And with me losing 5-0, I had a differential of 9. You know, I was up there. And before, we were the first match of the week. And so every other match that ended with a 3-1, minus the Stormwatchers, they were just instantly put up. Like, instantly ahead of me at that point. I'm like, man, that sucks. You know, so I went from 2nd down to 5th. I lied. You know, just because of that. You know, so it was rough. You know, and even with the Charizard Champions, their differential would be a lot worse if their one win wasn't a 6-0. You know, it could have been way worse. But, you know, so it's averaging, you know, the Charizard Champions averaging like maybe -1, -2 a match that they lose, which is pretty solid. Yeah. Well, actually, -1, and then like maybe 1 -2 or something. You know, just average of 4 games. But, you know, so it's like, it's still, you know, if they didn't get that big win, they'd be probably close to double digits. You know, so the differential's crazy. You know, it's really separating the Honeybuns from being top 8, which is playoffs, you know, from the Vaultin Veluzas, even though they have the same win record. You know, then you see the other end of the spectrum, there's a 7-point differential from the same record. You know, and that's just crazy. You know, you see the DC Tyranitars with 2, then down to -5. So it's like, that just shows how important the differential is, you know?
Yeah.
There's
Hopefully we'll see a change in the next 3 weeks. So we still have a chance.
Yeah, I think everybody still has a chance to make playoffs.
Everyone's pretty close, except for the top and bottom.
But there's still hope. There's still hope.
Yeah, there's still
hope. What were other important matches? They were more so important to me, you know, with the Cortando Corphish, Alakazams, and the Ledybas winning. Just the fact that they won, they got ahead of me.
Yeah.
You know, with the differential, where I was really needing the Charizard Champions to pull off a win. So that way I'm above the Ledybas, because they'd be 2-2 right now. But they would be above the Tyranitars, because they had a higher differential at that point. So it just really goes to show, like, each week, like, who wins really dictates your placement, you know? So it's not always all about differential. It's obviously about, you know, getting that win or getting that loss, but it is quite crazy, you know? I'm trying to think if there's any upsets this week.
It's all about how much you win with.
Yeah, you know
'Cause
that
just
too.
getting the win in general doesn't give you any points besides how, it doesn't give you any extra points besides the Pokemon that you have with you
Yeah,
at the end.
yeah. I don't know. Would you say there was any upsets this week? Because I wouldn't call my loss or like your win an upset because you were already like number one. You know what I mean? But like, I mean, would you consider Adam's loss being an upset? I wouldn't think so because the Ledybas were
No.
already on top in that
Yeah.
matchup.
I knew it was going to be a close game, but just because they're both really good
Mhm.
battlers.
Yeah. So I'd say there's no upsets this week. I can't change the layout to see if there's like any other previous upsets.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, I think the only upset was the Cortando Corphish's loss against the Honeybuns. I mean, that was a big win for the Honeybuns.
Yeah.
But, you know, if that loss wasn't there, you wouldn't be the only one undefeated.
That's true.
You know, so that was a big match, you know, for the Honeybuns as well as the Cortando Corphish. So,
Agreed.
yep. Yeah, so I think that's about it for the rankings. And let's just dive right into what to expect for next week.
Oh.
Oh.
So this upcoming week, we have the Storm Watchers versus the strong, powerful, beautiful, the Lake Serperiors.
Go ahead.
All right, and then we have the Charizard Champions versus the DC United Tyranitars. All right, the next battle will be between the Cortando Corphish and the Lakeside Ledybas. The next battle will be the Huntingdon Houndooms versus the Ball Bowlers. Next up, we have the Orlando Orricorios versus the Heart Homeless Honeybuns. Next up, we got the Pod Squad versus the Ann Arbor Alakazams. And lastly, we have our leader, the Levincia Lightning Rods versus the Vaultin Veluzas.